2 suicides in 1 week. 1 year after the Parkland shooting, the emotional scars still linger. For survivors, the healing process is never ending.
We were like walking to where we're supposed to go, right? And like I heard like 3 gunshots and everybody just started running. It was like scary because like nobody knew really like what was happening. Like there was just like people were just like suspecting like a lot of different things.
Eddie DiGregorio was hunkered down in the school's guidance office, while shots echoed on the floors above. His father, Al, just miles away at his family's Parkland home, was faced with the thought that his son might not survive.
I was just hanging out here with my wife, and both kids kind of texted, my daughter being in the middle school and Eddie in the high school, both kids texted pretty much one after another that there was a shooter on campus. And I remember we kind of looked at each other and said, what do we do? And we were like, let's go. And we jumped in the car and we went right down to the school. And we saw kids running out, crying. It was pretty chaotic, to say the least.
In the wake of the shooting, students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School created a movement and put gun control on the forefront of the national conversation. But while the gun control debate has wielded little change, the Parkland shooting has represented a paradigm shift in school safety and active shooter prevention. Despite being over 1,200 miles away from Parkland, Florida, Long Island schools like West Hampton Beach Elementary haven't been the same since the shooting.
We now have a full-time security personnel here at the elementary school. We also have added an SRO, a school resource officer, who is armed. He is a West Hampton Beach police officer, and he is the school resource officer for our district. So he comes to the elementary, the middle, and the high every single day.
In contrast to what happened in Parkland, where their armed guards stood idly by while the tragedy unfolded, the school resource officer at West Hampton is trained to quickly neutralize any potential threats before they can do more damage.
If somebody reports that there is someone inside the building, we're going inside the building. If someone reports that someone is outside of the building, we are going outside of the building. Wherever the person is reported to be or the threat is reported to be, that's where we go. That's something that we think about all the time as a police officer. You're constantly thinking about that. Any call on any given day could be that horrible call. Any traffic stop could be that dangerous traffic stop where something bad happens. So it's something that we're always thinking about.
I'm here at Ward Melville High School, where they've installed secure vestibules like this one here. Anyone that wants to enter the building needs to buzz the main office, show photo ID, and provide a valid reason for visiting just to be allowed inside. After gaining entry, security personnel will search any bags that you have, and you'll have to register as a guest. On occasion, students here are subjected to metal detector searches before their day can even begin. While Ward Melville may seem secure now, things haven't always been this way. While major changes have been underway at Ward Melville High School, the 5 elementary schools of Three Village Central School District have seen changes happen as well.
We certainly have increased our security staff. We certainly are practicing more lockdown drills, and the big change here is that we're practicing them during times that we never would have practiced them.
While much of the focus on safety has centered around public elementary, junior high, and high schools, colleges all over the country have been hard at work improving their security as well. In addition to conducting regular active shooter training seminars for students, Stony Brook University has invested in new technology that can help lock down entire buildings and keep students safe.
We were actually able to secure some funds, so we're in the process now. It's going to be an 18-month-long capital project, but we're working on the ability to secure every single academic and administrative building on West Campus through at least one door, in many cases multiple doors.
Yet despite the changes that have been made, Al DiGregorio still isn't satisfied with the changes his son's school implemented after the tragedy.
I would have to say I'm probably in the majority of most parents in this district that feel, still nervous sending your kids to school every day, and it's not really what you want. They've done a few Band-Aids, but we were promised metal detectors, and then they backtracked off of that. I think a lot of the changes that they're making are for the public eye.
Now, with the 1-year anniversary of Parkland and the 20-year anniversary of Columbine in the past, these new technologies have yet to prove their worth in an active shooter scenario. Parents, students, and teachers alike are hoping they never get the chance to do so. For the Stony Brook News, I'm Nick Musumeci.
and we were one of the first ones there after the initial response. We parked in a local shopping center and walked through to get as close to the schools as we could. And yeah, it was emotional, and I'll always remember it. I'll always remember when I saw him. Of course, I was thankful he was okay.
And then, I guess going to the whole security aspect of it, did you ever really think about how secure Parkland was before this happened? And
no, that's a great question. I did my research coming from New York. We did our research. We had some relatives that lived here, and I had some apprehension about moving here because of the schools and their reputation. But I did some research, and again, with other family living here, I felt real comfortable with this school district. But and I know both myself and my wife talk about it all the time, that we kind of feel like we don't want to make the time go by too quickly, because high school and these years are supposed to be great for your kids, but we kind of almost can't wait till they're out, from a safety perspective.
As schools and institutions all across the country look to stop future mass shootings, the business of safety is booming like never before. While risk assessments, training, and security upgrades can cost schools a small fortune, many argue the improvements are necessary. State governments agree. Since Parkland, legislators in dozens of states have approved over $1 billion of aid for schools in order to help them improve safety. New York is no different.